Bung. Look, welcome to the Poddy is obviously brought to you by Bung Coffee. It doesn't get any better than this. Look, I came up to someone the other day. I was like, do you drink coffee? He was like, nah. And I said, how do you feel? He's like, better than I've ever felt. I was like, well, don't worry about it. I'm going to move on to the next guy. And then I did the wrong thing. And I hit him with the, reverse roofie. I dropped a coffee bean in his Coca-Cola. You know what happened? I actually ended up running into him again later that day. And I was like, oh, how was your day, brother? You good? And he was like, honestly, since I talked to you, I had the best day of my life. And I didn't tell him what I did to him, but I use it as a sales technique. I let everyone know that he had one Bung coffee bean in a Coca-Cola, and I don't even know what that really tastes like, but I know that it changed his life. It changed his day at least. And that's what Bung coffee will do for you. You feeling low? Bang, have some Bung coffee. You feeling high? Bang, have some Bung coffee, even you out. Bring you back down to an acceptable level. You don't want to be too aroused. It's a bell curve. You want to be at the optimum level of arousal. That's what Bung coffee will do for you. They've been working on this for a long time in Colombia, Brazil, Honduras, and Peru. That's the blend of coffee that you're going to get. Get that premium coffee delivered to your door. Yeah, Bung coffee delivered directly to your door, man. If you go to bungbungcoffee.com, and because you listen to the Welcome to the Poddy podcast, you can get 15% off all orders by using code PODDY, that's P-O-D-D-Y, for 15% off all orders at bungcoffee.com. We're also brought to you by Lyka Pet Food, and this is just like putting premium fuel into your car, except it's your dog. Why would you be eating a ribeye while your dog's eating, baked beans from a can? That don't even make sense. Feed your dog, put the best food into your body and also into your dog's body, and that's what Lyka does. You get this delivered directly to your door as well. Go to lyka.com.au and you can set up a meal plan based on your dog's weight and type of dog and size and all of that. And they will organize a meal plan with you and deliver that directly to your door. If you want to give it a taste, dude, and get 50% off your first order, 50%, that's half price. Go to lyka.com.au and use code GG-135, that is GIGI-135, for 50% off your first order, and you won't regret it. I've been on Lyka for, well, not me, but my dogs have been on Lyka for, a few months now, and they've got this beautiful energy about them. They just seem satisfied all the time. I swear to God, they're smiling at me. They both eat it. One of my dogs used to always walk away from food. I tried everything. She's never walked away from a bowl of Lyka, and that's real. So I'm just saying, give it a try. It's good for your dog. It's good for you. And, it's not too bad for your pockets, especially if you use that code GIGI-135 for 50% off your first order. As always, please just support the show. Go to claymcmathcomedy.com, buy some merch, share the show. What else do you do while you're there? Oh, check out my tour dates, okay, and buy tickets if you're in a town nearby. Man, please buy tickets to the shows. They're so much fun. I love you guys, man. But yeah, please, at the very least, just share the show, like the content, comment on it, and just let's get the show into the algorithm and all that, and boost this thing, man. All right, let's start the show.
Welcome to the party, best show on the internet. Ask anybody. It's easy money. Sit back, relax, get your headphones, everybody. Welcome to the party. Blackout in the booth. Every episode's a party. We go hard like Ricky Bobby. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is Welcome to the Party.
Welcome to the Poddy, Bung. It's your man Claytron, aka the Big Boss Man, aka the Clumsy Jeweler, because I'm always dropping gems, aka the Milkman, because I always deliver, aka the PhD of podcasting, the Magnum PI of podcasting, the Captain, the Sydney Sweeney of podcasting, because I got big tits and I was just in Sydney last weekend. That's true. Look, we since the last time I talked to you guys, I think honestly I've had 2 Bucks shows, which is pretty much unheard of, back-to-back weekends for the same wedding. Yep, we're doing a gay wedding. So the first Bucks show was on a farm. And when you get 40 blokes on a farm, it gets debaucherous, bro. All right, that's the very most I'm going to say about that. I was up late. It was a camping situation. I think everyone but me that was there was like a country boy. They had all their own setups, swags, tents, the ones on top of the roof of cars. One guy towed in a boat with him. We weren't even near water. It did rain. It was grand final weekend, grand final day. And so everyone set up except me. They were like, "Oh, dude, you'll be fine. Like, there's couches and stuff." Bang. I'm one of the last ones down for once in my life. And the couches were taken. So I slept in the front seat of my friend's car. Shout out to Janos, big Janos. And slept for about 2 hours. And then we headed back to Adelaide. So that was brutal. It was a very, very fun time though. And I won't go into too much details because that's what Bucks show. What happens on the Bucks stays on the Bucks. The next one was in Sydney. And obviously, I won't talk too much about the Bucks, but it was a boat party in the Sydney Harbour. So yeah, it was pretty lit, bro. It was back-to-back beers all day. First beer was 9 o'clock in the morning at breakfast. Well, it wasn't a beer, it was a Bloody Mary, and that was delicious. But, whenever I go out of town, there's always travel stories that come with that. And we got access we traveled Virgin this time. Last episode I was talking about Jetstar, I think, and how much it doesn't get worse than Jetstar, but this time we traveled Virgin, there and back. And, traveling with my friend Janos, shout out to Jon, big Janos, we got access to the Virgin Lounge. Now that is important. That is an absolute game changer, especially if you get to the airport a little bit early. You got a place to chill. If you got a layover, you just chill in there. You get a couple beers, you get some snacks, you can get a meal. That's important. Now we went to the Adelaide Lounge, and Adelaide's like, in terms of airports in Australia, it's pretty much mid-tier. Okay, you think of airports probably more like you think of Sydney and Melbourne to be like the top tier. Then you go down to like your Adelaide's, Brisbane's, Perth's, and then the rest really. So we're in the Adelaide Lounge. It's pretty good, man. Like the food was lackluster, but they, good beer service at the bar over there. And, there was food. We hadn't eaten all day. So Rachel was pretty keen to get onto the snacks. And Jon just kept saying like, wow, like this was Rachel's first time in a lounge. So she was over the moon. And Jon just kept saying like, you wait till you see Sydney. We finish up the trip. We're in the Sydney Lounge, and I don't know what was going on with the Sydney Lounge, but it was kind of weak, dude. I don't know if it was going like renovations or, like demotions or whatever, but it was, no offense, Virgin, if you want to sponsor the show, I can go in and edit this episode and talk about how good the Sydney Lounge is, but this thing was just disappointing for an airport like Sydney. Now, we were in the domestic lounge, not the international lounge, and I'm sure there's a huge difference. I've been to international lounges before. I went to the Qantas or the One World Lounge, I think it was, in China. I can't remember the airport. It might have even been in Hong Kong. And I got a massage. Don't want to jerk me off, but I got a massage, which is still pretty good value. So international lounges have even bigger perks, but we got some juice, trying to get some vitamins in us before we got on this plane, absolutely butchered, 3 days of basically non-stop drinking and whatever else. But yeah, man, it's been a big couple of weeks of just partying it up. And we've got the wedding, basically tomorrow. I think this episode's going to get uploaded the day before the wedding. We'll see. And Yeah, so that is gonna be hectic. Another like 3 in a row, and then after that, I pray for it to chill out a bit. Even though I know I've got gigs coming up the next couple weekends, but that's not, gigs. You have a couple beers, you don't get absolutely just off your tits, dude. So pretty happy, I guess, about how everything's been going. But we were on the plane, and like I said on the last episode, like, make some space in economy, and you get on a Virgin flight and you can fit in there. Like, Jetstar is an actual joke, man. Because on the way over we went economy X, must be nice, and on the way back we didn't, but I still fit, and like not like a make yourself like origami yourself type of fit. It was, I fit, just like not I wasn't comfortable, but it wasn't like, hey, you better break your spine or figure it out. Like Jetstar, man, I don't even want to get back into that. Because it's a nightmare. Jetstar's a joke. I can't believe it's a real airline. I can't believe people fly it. I would honestly rather just skip a few meals. I'd rather skip a few meals and get a ticket on a real flight, And by the way, when I was on Jetstar, their entertainment didn't work and they wouldn't give me a fucking refund. So fuck Jetstar, bro. Virgin, on the other hand, had entertainment and we watched some. And that's why we're going straight into Clay's reviews.
Comedy, action, horror. Will this movie win an Oscar? Set design, directing, acting, lighting, or costumes. This segment is Clay's reviews.
Virgin Entertainment, we watched the film rom-com Anyone But You, starring Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell. And you're off to an absolute raging start, dude, because this movie is set in Sydney, starring Sydney Sweeney. So good on you. It's just a classic, boy meets girl, one night stand, miscommunication. Now we hate each other, and then a couple years later, we figure it out. They basically get forced into this situation because it's his best friend. It's Glen Powell's best friend's sister's wedding, and she's marrying Sydney Sweeney's sister. So yeah, it's a lesbian wedding, which was pretty much perfect because I'm going to a gay wedding tomorrow. And if that doesn't make me an ally, I don't know what does. But I'll just read you the plot of this movie. After an amazing first date, B and Ben's fiery attraction, and B and Ben do better. That's not what we're naming our characters. But B and Ben's fiery attraction turns ice cold until they find themselves unexpectedly reunited at a wedding in Australia. So they do what any two mature adults would do: pretend to be a couple. And the pretending thing is like, well, why would you do that? Well, yeah, well, why would you? Honestly, I guess to make a movie, because no one would do this. Gay people that haven't come out yet, or have to like their best friend who's a girl, have a girlfriend who's called their beard, and that's a fake relationship. I like to call most of my relationships before 2009. Or 2010, or maybe even 2014 fake relationships. Yeah, they faked it because the guy, Glen Powell, let's call them B and Ben since we know their names. Ben's ex-girlfriend is Australian and she's at the wedding. And B's ex-boyfriend gets invited by her parents because her parents are like trying to force that relationship. So they're like, Ben's like, I can make my ex jealous and get back with her if we pretend to be together. And she's like, if we pretend together, I can get my parents off my back about my ex. So it's an absolute joke of a script, honestly. I can't think of an occasion where I've had a failed one, and it wasn't like a failed one night stand. Okay, they had like this they met out at coffee, then spent the whole day together and night together, and it was just like perfect, right? They had the most chemistry ever. They like opened up to each other. She sneaks out in the morning for no reason and figures out halfway down the block, why have I snuck out? So she goes back, and old boy's roommate is in there, and he's like, what? You talked to her about your mother? Oh, you love her? And dude, if your friend, dude, trust me, to this day, if your friend's like, oh, you love her, and you're a guy, you're gonna just be like, what? No, get the fuck out of here, man. Like just toxic masculinity and shit. And that's what he does. And as he's doing that, she walks in the door, but he doesn't even see her there. So like she doesn't make herself known. So she hears all the bad shit that he's saying about her. He's like calling her nothing, a disaster, all this shit. And she's like, damn, that hurts. And she fucks off. They bump into each other at the club like a week or 2 weeks later or something. And or maybe even a year later. And they get reintroduced because of this relationship with his best friend's sister and her sister dating, and then blah, 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 whatever. So, I can't imagine a first date going, or one night stand going so poorly, and then actually, dude, I went on this. It was a Tinder date. When I was playing basketball, so I was like, floating around to a different city every 6 months, playing for a different team. So I wasn't really in anything serious with anyone. I was in Adelaide for a period of time. I got on Tinder and matched with this absolute smoke show. And we had our first date just at a bar, and I've honestly never been in a more awkward situation. I think she was really smart, but she wouldn't like open up enough to like for me to like figure it out. But like she just couldn't hold a conversation. And she said she was really boring, like super boring. Like I was trying to make conversation happen, and like her answer to everything was like, oh, I don't really know. Oh, I don't really know what I like to eat. Oh, do you want a drink? Oh, yeah, I'll get a water. Okay, a water. Yeah, okay, you're a model or whatever. You're watching the calories, cool. You hungry? Do you want a snack or something? No, I ate before I got here. Oh, okay, cool. Like, do you like movies or anything? Like, what do you like to do? She's like, oh, I don't know, just hang out, just chill out. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, so nothing? You don't like anything? Well, do you do Tinder often? Like, how many of these dates have you been on? Oh, no, not really. This is like my first one. Oh my God. But she was like the hottest, dude. Like so hot, stupid hot. And I was saying before, I can't think of a first date that went so well. But me and her ended up, check this out. This story gets more complicated. I hooked up with her a few times, nothing like eventuated, but it wasn't ugly or anything. Like we like kind of texted on and off for like another year or maybe 2 years after that. And then I got a girlfriend. We were long distance, and she got a bit icy towards me one time, and I started like texting around looking for affection. This is one of the girls I texted. And then Christmas time comes along, and I post a picture of me and my girlfriend. She's sitting on my lap, and this girl comments "lol" on the picture. I delete the comment. She comments again. I delete it again. She messages me, why are you deleting my comments? I was like, you know goddamn fucking well why I'm deleting your comments. And she's like, oh, yeah, just trying to hide everything. Like, you know what you've been doing and all this shit. I'm like, oh, God. And then I started gaslighting. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, just in case she's going to screenshot the text or whatever. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you're crazy. Which is, this is not a good move, dude. Like, I don't recommend this. I'm not proud of it. I was trapped. I was caught. And I was trying to strategize, okay? And my best strategy was gaslighting, and it wasn't a very good strategy. Anyway, I can't remember if she ended up texting my girlfriend or not, but I ended up snitching on myself because I was so panicked about it. I was like, look, this girl, she's going crazy. I don't know what her problem is. She reckons she's going to text you and like trying to break us up or something. And my girlfriend's not stupid. She's like, well, no, she wouldn't just do that for no reason. So what's happened? I'm like, and she's like, okay, so what did you say? What did you do? What have you done? I'm like, nothing. Basically, yeah, no, fuck the relationship. I can't even remember if the girl texted her or not. I cannot remember. But that's an example of a first date that went wrong and then right for like a little, you know, we hooked up a bit and then wrong. You know, it wasn't a rom-com. We didn't end up together. This girl was not Rachel. She is not the mother of my child. You know, this ended up, I think we've got each other blocked on social media and maybe even phone numbers, to be honest, because that was an experience, man. That was scary, and she ended up making me snitch on myself, man. So, and that's what happened in this. So they're faking this relationship, and it's, you know, the whole thing is, you know, is visually appealing. They're in like a really nice coffee shop at the start. I don't know. I think they're in Boston. And then they are on he's rich. We never really find out what he does. I think it's like Wall Street. He's like not Wall Street, but you know, he's a day trader maybe, or some type of trader. And he's making big money. He's got this sick apartment. Then they're in the first class cabin. Then they're at this beautiful property on the water in Sydney. And it's just, yeah, everything about it is visually appealing. Glen Powell's sexy as. Sydney Sweeney's got her tits out the whole movie. It's fantastic. You know, I've been trying to think today, man, about whether there's been another actress that has just basically got by on her tits alone. Like Pamela Anderson, kinda, but was she even in a lot of shit? Like she was in Baywatch. That's all I really can remember. I'm sure she got spots elsewhere, but like not. I don't think her acting career like ever took off. And you know, obviously the sex tape had something to do with that. But like Sydney Sweeney's like everywhere right now, and she's making a point of getting them things out, dude. And hey, you know, keep doing it for the people. But like, you know, she's a fine actress, whatever. She's no fucking Helen Mirren, you know. She's no fucking Dame Judi Dench, you know. I'm just trying to think if anyone has ever utilized their tits in Hollywood as much. And I know tits get out and people have tits. You know, you got Sofia Vergara. Now that could be one. She may be the actual perfect comparison of who has weaponized their tits in the way of success the most. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney's tits were like, the whole thing was super visually appealing. But like, it was one of those things, and I always talk to Boardman about it. You know, Boardman's not here right now. Again, he's we're going to be missing him for about a month now. He's on holiday overseas, so I hope he has a great time. I'm going to miss him. I've missed him for the last 2 weeks. But yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be good when he gets back, but I hope he has the best trip. But yeah, I say this to Boardman all the time, is like, where was the point where I was supposed to start giving a fuck? Like there was no character development. There was no point of this movie where I was like, oh man, like, I mean, the guy's mum's dead. You find that out. And they're like, oh, you told her about your mom? You don't tell anybody about your mom. And then that was like kind of it. They didn't really go into that. You know, whether it's tragic or not, does it matter? Probably not, but like there probably needs to be something about like his relationship with his mom. You know, it just was, I didn't care about him or how he felt or her or how she felt, really. I was like, oh, damn. Like, you know, when he's talking shit at the start, I was like, been there, dude. Like I said earlier, your boys start pressing you about being in love with a chick, dude. It's, your guard goes up. Like, fuck, no, I don't like that bitch, dude. No, that's just another hoe, man. You know, find and fucking flee, baby. You know, all that shit, thinking that you're doing something. But that, I mean, that's just so common that it didn't make me really feel bad. I mean, I feel bad for girls in general because of it. Like, I didn't specifically feel bad for her. But I also feel bad for guys, like, just like the games, man. And everyone's been through games. But they were playing games with each other. Not enough honesty. If there was just a bit more honesty, then they didn't have to go through the, you know, whatever you call it, trials and tribulations, the ebbs and flows, the adversities. But yeah, I think the characters just, there wasn't a single character that we got to learn about. There was Ben's ex-girlfriend, the Australian, was dating this other Aussie, and he only spoke in like Aussie-isms. I can't even think of an example of like one of his. I should have looked up a quote. I didn't know I was going to talk about him, I guess, but just like, oh yeah, just 10 toes down, mate, out of the water, like, or you get. That's how you know you had a good surf, is when you get sand up your clacker. But I didn't even do that any justice. He said like 50 words that were supposed to be like, what's he say? Like for Americans to be like, what the fuck did he just say? Oh my God, Australians are so weird. But he just, his character sucked. He was a dummy. He did one thing which I actually rewound 5 times. They were saging the house, which in and of itself, I'm just not into like that level of spirituality. And maybe I'm wrong. But there's not a lot of like things that's happened in my life that I can attribute to me having not saged my house or hotel room or whatever. I can't quite get jiggy with that. So I was already rolling my eyes, and then they handed him the sage, and instead of just like waving it around, which is called smudging, by the way, sage smudging. Fucking stupid. But instead of smudging the place, he like gives it a sniff and then bites into the side of it like it's a burrito. But also, if it was a burrito, you don't eat burritos like that. You eat them from the top down, all home loans. So I don't. It was just like, it was I didn't laugh, but I was like, is that what just happened? And I rewound that about 3 times. Yeah, but that guy sucked, man. And I think he was supposed to be hot, but he fucking wasn't, okay? And you know me, dude. I'll give a guy props for being hot, and this guy wasn't hot, dude. He had a body on him. Like, would I take his body? Absolutely. His head, though, dude, he had a head on him. Looked like, I don't know. He just looked like he looked like a, I don't know. What's a dog with a big square head, like a Labrador, but like a real thick Labrador, but like not cute, not like a Labrador that's probably been hit by a car before. But like not in a good way, not where it's got like 2 broken hind legs and you want to look after it forever and make it a little, you know, disabled dog that you get clout for looking after because you rescued it and it's had broken legs. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a Labrador that got in a head-on collision with a Volkswagen Amarok and got his face pushed in. And it's just got a square head, and his head was like kind of squarish before, and that's what this guy looks like. That's all I'm saying. No offense to dude, I'm sure he's cool or whatever, but yeah. It was a rom-com. It was a modern rom-com. Rom-coms aren't what they used to be, and it's hard. It's hard to get them done now. It's hard to really do anything in the genre, in the comedy genre. But you know, we get through it. We fight the good fight. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I don't really have much else to say about it. There is a sing along component as well, which I can't really recall being major in rom-coms. I remember in I think it was 16 Candles, old boy held up the boombox out the front of the house, and then I read when everyone started cancelling shit, a few years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, when Weinstein shit started. I remember an article coming out calling him a stalker. That's stalker behavior. And, running, everyone thinks it's so romantic to run after someone in an airport. That's called stalking. And it's I know who wrote this, some fat bitch that no one's ever ran after and no one's ever going to. That's what we're trying to cancel now, is a fictional character chasing down his love. Who knows that she's in love with him, but he hasn't had the moment to say it. He has to say it before she goes. It's a movie, you fucking blue-haired bitch. Do you remember how cancelling people started? It started with jerking off in front of people and telling people to suck you off and you'll give them the part. That's where Me Too started, and then it ended up being this dead guy slapped a bitch 75 years ago. I was who gives a fuck? Times was different back then, and they have actually changed. Yeah, some people still do the wrong thing, but let's not cancel a dead man. Let's get back to canceling the living rapists. That people keep pretending they don't know about. How about that? How about the rug? What's it called? Sweeping it under the rug. How about we cancel the people that are doing the sweeping, dude? Turning a blind eye. Anyway, what was I talking about that made me go off on that? This movie sucks. I gave it rom-coms. Rom-coms, it's hard to do a rom-com. They did a sing-along. I can't recall a lot of sing-alongs in rom-coms. This one was particularly cringy. It made for what was supposed to be good vibes sort of credit sequence at the end. Credit sequences can often be what some people call boring, where others people actually want to see and give credit where it's due. But this film decided not to, and just to distract you from actually who did the hard work and watch hot people sing a shitty song. So whatever. This movie was a 4 out of 10 maximum. That's me, a few champagnes deep. Actually, I wasn't drinking champagne. I was drinking beer. I was a few beers deep. I'm in a pressurized cabin. And I'm pretty excited about going to Sydney, and I'm watching a movie about Sydney. So maybe I inflated this score, but from what I can tell, it was a 4 out of 10. I don't recommend it. But like I said, there's, Sydney Sweeney's tits are leaving their titty prints all over this thing. So go ahead and have a look at that if you have to. And I got one more that I want to talk about here. It's called Erax or Erax. During a sleepover, Auntie Opal and her niece Nina accidentally released the mythical and dangerous Erax, creatures that must be returned to the storybook from which they escaped. And this is just a short, and I've reviewed shorts before. I just watched this the other day with my son, and I was really excited about it because he picked it. He usually picks the same shit over and over. Thomas the Tank Engine, Bluey, Gecko's Garage is huge in this house right now. He likes watching lightning storms on YouTube a lot. Diggers. He loves Diggers. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all the things that he loves, but usually it's the same shit. So I've been trying to steer him in a direction of try it out, try new things. And he did it yesterday. And I saw by the picture, I was like, this looks scary. I didn't want to say scary to him because we were going for a walk the other day, and it's school holidays here, so there were these 3 landscapers fixing up the kindergarten down the street, and they had a digger there, and the guy was using it, and Kenny's like, oh, let's go see it. I want to see. We cross the street and the guy's like, do you want to get in, buddy? Like, friendliest dude ever. And Kenny's like, no, he got a bit shy. And then we just stood and watched for like 25 minutes. And I was like, buddy, we got to go home, get some lunch, man. Like, you're getting hungry? And he's like, oh, I want to get in it before I go. And the guy's like, come on, mate. Like, like I said, friendliest guy. We go over. I go to put Kenny in. And he's like, no. And the guy goes, oh, yeah, scary, isn't it? And ever since that day, Kenny's been saying shit's scary just when he doesn't want to do shit. And not scary shit. I'm just talking like if he doesn't want to wear clothes, I'll be like, come on, we gotta put some clothes on, buddy. He'll be like, don't like clothes, they're scary. I'm like, fuck this dude down the street, man. Nah, he's a good bloke, but yeah, he's kind of fucked me there. So this thing looked kind of scary, but he's like, I want to watch Monster One. So I'm like, all right, bet. Let's watch the Monster One. And I put it on. And I saw it as a short, and I was like, all right, we can probably get through this. But there was this bit in it where the monster came out, and I was like, buddy, you all right? You still want to watch this? And he's like, look, the monster's coming out of there. And he got like really excited. He was loving it. This is my first, because I usually do Shocktober, which is, watch scary movies only during the month of Halloween. And Kenny has really got our first horror. Let's see what what they classify it as. They call it family mystery short. It was on the Netflix kids section, so yeah, I guess it is a family. But yeah, this little creature, it was the worst sort of like puppet I've ever seen. I guess they don't want it to be realistic, but it reminded me of that Busta Rhymes film clip from back in the day. Give Me Some More, the Give Me Some More music video. There's a monster or like a face in it that looked like this Erax. But yeah, they're reading a storybook, and then it gets to a blank page, and basically the story's yet to finish or something, and like they have to create the next. Sorry. They have to create the next pages. And it just basically was Babadook for babies. It was Baby Dook. That's what the Erax is. It was your fear kind of powers me. And when you're no longer afraid of me, I no longer can fear you or whatever. Look, it was a kids show. It was bad actors, no offense. Shout out to the African American community, man, because all black. It was all black. I'm trying, dude. I hate doing this. To what seems like an indie film or short film. I mean, it was the Babadook for babies. That's all I can say. But like, it was the bad version. It was the bad Babadook for babies, and I don't know that there's anywhere we can go with this other than that. I don't recommend it. It wasn't scary. Like, Kenny didn't get scared. He's only 2 years old. He can get scared. Sometimes we'll watch like, the planes movie, like, Cars on Disney, but it's planes. And one of these planes has a crash into the ocean, and Kenny says, turn it off, he's scary. And so he does get scared, and he didn't get scared of this monster. So if you do come across it, don't be afraid of it scaring your kids. I mean, your kid's probably more of a pussy than mine, but oh yeah, honestly, man, it just didn't. I wasn't vibing with it. Kenny kind of was though, so I did give it some points because Kenny was vibing, but it's not it to me. And I apologize, but I got to give this one a 3 out of 10. A 3 out of 10. Now, look, like I said, I had a busy couple weeks. I'm late again on the episode. I've got a guest booked in next week. Hopefully he doesn't cancel. I've got some more episodes coming. Hopefully more highly produced than this. I kind of threw this together last minute. But you've got you've got 2 movies not to watch here basically today. So I did the research for you guys, save you guys time. You can avoid these ones. Look, buy tickets to my shows, support the show. You know, at the very minimum, please just share this shit, comment on it, hit the like button. Let's get it into the algorithm, man. I love you guys. Don't forget to love yourselves. As always,